Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and my apologies for being late. I had a little bit of a sneezing, coughing spell, which kept me from, y'all don't want to just say, well, there's Hawkeye sneezing and coughing. Anyway, recover my whatever it is. I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you will accept and receive the healing, the wisdom, the knowledge from the universe. Now, with that said, hello, everybody. I see there's some folks already lined up in the chat. Chloe, David, Castle, Michelle, as always, Robert V., good to see you. Mountain Dew, you know, things come to you at the strangest times, and this particular subject, masks, plural, not one mask, but the masks of the ghost dancers. Now, I'm outside mowing, weed eating my yard this afternoon, really hot, and I'm kind of crazy, but I'm out there doing it anyway because it needed it. But in my contemplation and sweating, which is sort of like a sweat lodge, so I was considering, well, it's 94 degrees and 104 degree, temperature thing. What a nice way to, kind of sweat out some old stuff, if you will. So I'm thinking about all this weirdness with the masks. Now I'm all for staying healthy, all right, and this is sort of about the mask, but it's more than that. Because in Native American dancing and in shamans, going way back, there have been masks and things that have been shown. I traveled and did some powwows with the legend keeper. His name was Kashka. Last I heard, he was down in Florida in the Orlando area, sort of. And he was an old man when I met him, and that was literally 20 years ago. So, but we had many conversations about legends and stories, and he being a true one of the Tlingit tribes. Say that 3 times real quick. One of the official legend keepers. And I've talked about this before, but this is true. And you can do your study or whatever about the legend keepers. And a few years back, the state of Alaska actually acknowledged legislatively the oral history because they're not allowed to write any of it down. He was not allowed to make notes anytime anybody was around, if there was any videotaping or whatever. Everyone was asked to not record him. He wasn't even allowed to record himself. Duggar, it's all right, brother. It's just them cats. I forgot to feed them. I was worried about feeding me tonight. I made my a version of my shrimp and scallop sauce. Oh man, I done good. It was really scrumptious, man. Let me tell you, my stomach and my mouth is still doing jingly jangles from all the flavors. It's good. Anyway, I digress. That's another reason why I'm a little late. But it came upon me that the masks, the idea of wearing masks, and the mask of the Red Death is what came in to my brain. I'm looking at all these commercials and things and the mask, and now there are commercials saying, okay, basically, don't be a wuss, mask up. Like, whoop, what? Hey, let's all say hi to Bob. Bob, we love you. Here's some coffee. Here's for, I can see the video wanting to glitch some. So, but anyway, Al, how are you? Let me see. Brandy's in the house. Twisted, Isby. Brandy, hello. God, I can't get this thing to scroll right. Robert V. Maverick, there, I knew I was missing somebody. Blessings to all of you. So anyway, myself having been a, oh, calm down, boy. It's the cat's in the yard and he's having a fit. I gave him a shower too. Ooh, calm down, Duggar. He's protective if nothing else. Candy Apple, hello, how are you? So anyway, I'm thinking, and I'm going to start off with what first hit me was that The Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. And I've been a Poe fan for years. What a twisted brain the man had, just got to say. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of overview so you can kind of, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Edgar Allan Poe and The Mask of the Red Death, let me just give you a little overview just so you can see where I'm coming from with this. The Mask of the Red Death, originally published as The Mask of the Red Death, a fantasy, is a short story by the American writer Edgar Allan Poe, first published in 1842, almost 200 years ago. The story follows Prince Prospero's attempt to avoid a dangerous plague known as the Red Death by hiding in his abbey. So now it's not a very long story, and you can read it. I didn't think to try to read it here, but the Red Death had long devastated the country. No pestilence had ever been so fatal nor so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal. The madness and the horror of blood. There were sharp pains and sudden dizziness, then profuse bleeding at the pores with dissolution. Now, we just saying, everybody's wearing a mask because of, and back in the day, oh my God, just saying. He published The Mask of the Red just before the Cask of Amontillado, which I did rewrote the story and turned it into a play, and we did it. It was really cool. Let's see. The Mask of the Red Death had long been feeding on the country. No sense had been so deadly, so great a killer, or so fearful to see. Blood was its mark, the redness and the horror of blood. There were sharp pains and a sudden feeling that the mind was rushing in. And so anyway, so there was a big, in The Mask of the Red Death, everybody comes and it's a masquerade party. So while the peasants and people are just literally, falling out and dying in the streets and all around, here's Prospero and the elites having this masquerade party. And if someone was sick, then they couldn't see it. But the other thing, it was to hide from it. All right. So the mask was to hide from the Red Death and to hide our feelings and to keep ourselves inside. I mean, so you read the story, and there are a lot of different levels in there that Poe, in my opinion, that Poe was relating to. What a twisted mind, and gifted as well. But anyway, Poe, that is. While I pondered, weak and weary, over many a forgotten lore, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, over the lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Yeah, there's some, there's some weirdness in there. While I pondered, nearly napping, gently I heard a tapping, rapping at my chamber door. Who is that? I called. The answer came back, nevermore. That's not an exact quote, but it's pretty close. But anyway, so you've got the idea, and the Red Death was really a true thing. So the Mask of the Red Death hit me first, and I was like, we're all putting on these masks, and I seen this commercial today, about, come on, everybody, mask up. And I'm like, wait a minute, hang on here. So they're trying to portray that you must wear a mask all the time. I mean, like outside, and if you're in your yard, that you should have a mask on. No, No, I mean, I had a discussion with my friend Marcia yesterday, I guess, or anyway, and we've been having this discussion. And she said that, they were doing a food pickup, and thank you, Marcia, for the box of food. And I will pass some more food on. Shame y'all ain't in the neighborhood. I got some fresh vegetables they pass out. My friend Marcia brought me 2 boxes, one of which I try to share with other friends and neighbors. But anyway, um, got some fresh cabbage, and it looks good too. I'm gonna have to figure out. I can't remember how to make coleslaw, and I got carrots too. So it seems like I'm going to be doing a bunch of shredding here. Anyway, back to the thing. I get sidetracked so easily with y'all. I hope you are doing well, Maverick, Michelle, Candy Apple, Robert V. Robert, I hope you got my. I sent you an email back. Anyway, anytime, brother, just let me know. We'll dream up a Brian and I. This is a inside conversation with Robert V and myself, but also Brian. Anyway, he used to call me up and go, "Hey Dave, I want to do a show, but I got a couple ideas. What do you think?" And we'd go, "Okay," and he'd type it up, and 2 hours later we do a show. So, but yeah, I still miss him, but I know that he's with us, and that's part of also this. So the ghost dance, okay, the ghost dancers. So I'm giving you sort of an overview of what the idea of the Mask of the Red Death. So it's the covering up, it's the hiding, whether or not they weren't actually in the story by Poe, they were hiding and putting on a face, and they were partying while everybody else was dying. Okay. So the elite, think about that. So now we're all being cajoled into wearing a mask 24/7 when we're in our own house. I mean, I live on 18 acres down here, right? My nearest neighbor's up yonder. And if it's in the air and just floating around, there are a lot of other things in the air around here that I'm more worried about than the 19 thing. Okay, just saying. You can smell the fertilizer when the local farmers have, plowed up 1,000 acres and have put out poisons and things. It hangs in the air at night. It'll go up into the clouds, and then as it cools down, it'll kind of settle back down. And I'll go out in the middle of the night, and it'll literally smell like a fertilizer plant. And there used to be a fertilizer plant in Moultrie, so I know what it smells. I know what that is. But anyway, so the Mask of the Red Death, mask, death. Okay, elite. Read the story. Interesting. Um, the ghost dance. And I'm thinking to myself, the mask are turning us all into zombies. We are the walking dead. We have become a ghost society, if you will. We're all being cajoled and forced to stay home. It's okay not to be okay. No, it's not. I mean, what? Some of these commercials and things that are on and being showed to folks, I'm thinking to myself, who's trying to convince us to 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 do what? I mean, okay, I'm all for being safe. Don't get me wrong. But now, now the stores are wanting to pass out masks and going, now you got to wear a mask. Well, we went through what a lot of us thought was a pretty nasty situation before they started putting up barriers and stuff. We all made it. We all just kept the distance and washed our hands. And, I'm sure that there were some people, but some of those folks that got sick were going to churches and larger gatherings. Now, if it's going to hit you, it's going to hit you. And I don't know how this thing's being passed around. And there's a lot of rumors, even on a local level, that somebody passed away and they chalked it up as a 19. And I won't say it. Okay. So it's the 19 that the 19, this person was sick with lung issues and was like in their 70s, and they passed away, and they wrote it down as 19. And it's like, no, well, no. They may have caught a flu but they were really ill before. But because they died during this time to make things kind of look good, they're like, well, that was a 19 victim. when it really wasn't. So, not to say that people aren't getting sick, not my point, but there are a lot of, and I mean, I've heard a few things locally, and some folks going, such and such and blah blah blah, and they said, well, it was the 19. It was like, no, it wasn't. He was sick. He was old. No, so there are being some convoluted things, and now with some of these commercials, the one I saw today, which is sort of prompting this, is now they're going to bully us into masking up. What's the matter? Don't be a wimp. Mask up, America. What? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. And you see these people walking down the street and they're outside. There's nobody really near them, 20, 30 away, blah, blah, and they're wearing a mask. And I'm like, why? The idea of the mask is supposed to be that we don't share the germs and we don't breathe in germs, right? And so, but when we're away from other people and we're out in the open, in the open air, if it's that bad that we have to wear a mask 24/7, then it is the mask of the Red Death. You know what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't, no matter what we do, we're going to have to do this thing. Now, the ghost dance part, and I was thinking to myself that with this, it has become a dance of the masks. What? Now think about it. And so in my convoluted little twisty my brain here, we're all being coerced, or in many situations forced. If you want to come in, you got to wear a mask, period. Well, okay. If that's my condition, I'll put my mask on, right? But when I leave your store or establishment or whatever, it's coming off. I have enough trouble breathing in some of this, cantankerous air around here with the farm community and all the chicken manure stuff. And oh my God, sometimes there is a stench in the air that just won't go away. So, and I've lived around, there's hog parlors been around here, and I've worked on hog farms and chicken farms. I've been down here for 40 something years, right? Or 1974 is I've been in Georgia. So you figure it out. But anyway, a bunch of years, right? So, but anyway, so the idea of the mask of the Red Death, and now the ghost dance. Now, let me go into the Native American thing and what the ghost dance is, and see if you can follow where my tiny little brain was going with this, right? Now, the ghost dance, and I didn't know that these things were related. Now, let me just read this about the ghost dance. The ghost dance was also called the Ghost Dance of 1890, was a new religious movement incorporated into numerous Native American belief systems. According to the teachings of the Northern Paiute spiritual leader, Wawolka, renamed Jack Wilson, proper practice of the dance would reunite the living with spirits of the dead, bring the spirits to fight on their behalf, make the white colonists leave, and bring peace, prosperity, and unity to the Native American peoples throughout the region. The basis for the ghost dance is this circle dance, a traditional Native American dance. Not just Native American, but it's a native dance. The ghost dance was first practiced by the Nevada Northern Paiute in 1889. The practice swept throughout much of the western United States, quickly reaching areas of California and Oklahoma. As the ghost dance was spread from its original source, different tribes synthesized selective aspects of the ritual with their own beliefs. I mean, the Cherokee, they did it their way, and the Paiutes and the Hopi and whoever did it their way. It just for tradition. The ghost dance was associated with Wovoka's prophecy of an end to white expansion. Well, that went out. While preaching goals of clean living and honest life and cross-cultural cooperation by Indians. Practice of the ghost dance movement was believed to have contributed to Lakota resistance to assimilation under the Dawes Act. In the Wounded Knee Massacre in December of 1890, the United States Army forces killed at least 153 of the Lakota people. The Lakota variation on the ghost dance tends towards millenarianism, an innovation that distinguished the Lakota interpretation from Wovoka's original teaching. The Caddo still practice the ghost dance today. Now, in doing a little bit more research and having been around Native Americans and so forth, and the discussion of the ghost dance. So, in doing a little bit more reading, which is another reason why I was a little late starting this, was I wanted to be able to give you current or as correct information as not just what I could remember, but let me spank the old memory cells here and see what comes up. Anyway, so here's the deal. The ghost dance was invented. Okay, so there are some folks who would believe that the ghost dance is ancient. No, it was dreamt up. Okay. This guy wanted to join all Native peoples together. So what would happen is literally the whole tribe would get together, sort of like a stomp dance that a lot of the Seminole and some of the Turtle Clan members say, oh my God, a stomp dance will last for hours and people will hold each other up as they dance and they tie cans. In the days, it was the Turtle Clan because the folks would take turtle shells and fill them full of beads or rocks and whatever and use them as shakers, and they put them on their legs. And so in the stomp dance, the shake, 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 it's amazing. And so somebody invited me to in one time, and thank God it only lasted a half an hour. And I was like, how long does this thing go? And they were like, oh, we're just getting warmed up. What? And I was like, I'm going to sit the next one out. And I stayed for an hour and a half watching these folks dance, and they didn't stop once. And you literally hold each other up. It's amazing. It's strange. It's weird and exhilarating at the same time. So the ghost dance was that the entire tribe would join in a circle and dance basically for the peace upon the earth and for the old tradition too. And so Wovoka believed, and many of the old traditions believed, that, get this, that the native tribes would be taken up into space and the white folk and the bad guys, not, would get swallowed up by the earth. And then after they had gone away, that the sky gods would bring them back and deposit the native peoples back on the earth, so that the older traditions and the simple life and the balanced life and none of this other mongering and stuff, and hoarding and things. And anyway, and so you got to kind of have, and now this was back in the 1890s, okay, that the ghost dance originated. But now there are shamanic beliefs that go way back, okay, having to do with the sky gods. Now, the sky gods, now a ghost, let me put this out to you about ghost and native peoples, okay? We have a tendency to interchange the word ghost and spirit, and it kind of sort of means the same thing. No, because the spirit, each of us has a spirit with our, we're spirits, but not each of us are ghosts. Okay, we may become a ghost, but you know what I mean. So, but in the native traditions, ghosts are something's happened to somebody. They were an evil person and their spirit hung around, and it was, not like a poltergeist, but, like sort of like a demon spirit, if you will. And so a ghost is associated, and also in a lot of traditions and some of the Oriental traditions, I have found out, in that a ghost is not a good thing, but the spirit of the ancestors is always welcome. Okay. So there's a great big difference. Spirits are all around us, but not necessarily ghosts. And so ghosts are the bad guys, where spirits is everything else. Oh, so if we talk about a ghost, that's not it's a negative entity. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, it could be a relative. It could be a non-corporeal thing from another dimension that's popped in to wreak havoc. Who knows? But the ghost is just that. It's a ghost and not necessarily a spirit. It may come in a spirit form. Okay, so but the two aren't mutually the same. So we talk about the great spirit, but we don't talk about the great ghost, unless you're Catholic and they talk about the Holy Ghost. Yeah, but you see, I've often questioned, what about this Holy Ghost thing? The Holy Spirit. Okay, well, there's God the Father, God the Son, then, and then the Spirit is the love between the two. So I've had this revelation years ago, and people are like, well, didn't you know that? And I'm like, no, I've had that vision while on some really strong cannabis, and that might have been laced with something back in the day. But anyway, so I had this revelation and quitting being a Catholic and an altar boy and all that, and I'd no longer want to be a priest. So I'm contemplating, okay, what else is going on in the world? So I've been having these little revelations for the last 50 some odd years, 55 years. Probably longer than that, but I'm just being conservative. So the idea of a ghost now, so the ghost dance. Now, I'm thinking when they called it the ghost dance, they wanted to bring all of the spirits of the ancestors gone by to help in this life to rid now they were talking about the white man, but we all know that all white people aren't rotten, mean, bad, and nasty. It's the oligarchs and them kind of folk, right? The a-hole type of folks, So, so, but in the Native Americans, it was just them white folk. But to them, they didn't know that there was Italian white folk and German white folk, and we were just all white folk. And to us white folk, every tribe was just Indian, and that's not true. There were a lot of differences. So in the ghost dance now, so back in 1889, the Lakota and a lot of folks are, quote, starting this new religious experience within the native tribes, because they've all been condensed onto reservations. And the native peoples didn't want to lose their nativeness, okay? And so the ghost dance was spread between the tribes. Now, the government got so annoyed, and Custer had his last poo-paw, his last stand. And I've been up there to Montana where Custer's last stand took place and all. He was an idiot, but what an idiot. And narcissistic and all bravado, and I can't say the same for his men, but I'm glad they got him. But because of Custer's last stand, this thing at Wounded Knee, okay, that happened in 1890. So there's women and children, and they're all gathered there doing, guess what? A ghost dance. And they came in and wiped them all out. And murdered them, massacred them, end of story. And they made it a law that no native tribes were allowed to ever perform the ghost dance again. So now when you look in through some of the traditions, though, there are those that some of the dance would have a representative. And depending on where the tribe was located, they would literally carve out masks out of wood. I've held some of these things. They're 500 and 600 and 700 years old, carved out of, huge trees from the Northwest. I've had the opportunity to hold them and look at them, and oh my God, it's amazing. And so the mask word to say, sometimes the mask was to fool the demon, that you had a demon mask so that the demon would not harm you. Now you go, well, wait a minute. So you see these masks with devil horns and everything, and people say, well, they're worshiping the demon. Nah, they're representing the demon. Big difference. It's like Punch and Judy, Punch and Judy and slapping and hitting and all this other, wait a minute, they're puppets. So in the same respect, if you saw someone dancing by firelight with a bunch of drumming and they had this big mask on that looked evil with the eyes cut out, you'd go, oh my God, they're worshiping the demon, wouldn't you? When actually they were putting on the face of the demon so that the demon would see himself in the mirror. And so it wasn't to worship the demon. They knew the demon existed because that was the representative who was performing the dance. So it's a representation. This is the demon, and we see him, and we are aware of what he does. And so, but the person doing the dance is mocking the demon at the same time, without pissing them off, I got to say, because you can piss off the other side really easy. That's a hard lesson to learn, let me tell you. Don't ever think you're stronger than some, they'll whoop your butt. So the title of this, Masks of the Ghost Dancers. And the vision today was, I see everybody with the mask on, and we have become ghosts in this dance of life, that whoever is behind the, mask up America, and pushing this, we got to wear them all the time, everywhere. I mean, people are in their own homes, sitting, typing on the computer, wearing the mask. No. Maybe if a neighbor or relative or something, but the thing is, if you talk on the phone and they're coming over to visit, hey, you been sick? No. You? Nope. We're all fine. Okay, I'm coming over. So you got two folks that are talking who they're not sick and you're not sick, so come on over. Now, but if they come over, are you all going to wear masks, or are you going to interact or whatever? And folks are going to interact. That's why in the African American Black community, sort of Spanish, Hispanic, anyway, big families, and they really like to come together. Now, I gotta say, I have not heard many Hispanics that are being affected by the 19 virus. Let me put this to you like this. Them folk eat a lot of hot stuff, okay? I mean, they use pepper sauce and they're doing the thing. I mean, how many Cajuns, I've used a bunch of hot sauce in my stew tonight, and made, it's good. Let me tell you, if you was nearby, I would share a bowl. Oh man. The shrimp I bought was not deveined, nor was it shelled. So I sauteed them in some olive oil and some butter first to get them nice and chunky. And then I took them out and pulled the shell off of them little shrimps. I had to eat a couple. I sauteed with olive oil and fresh butter. And there was a little bit of garlic in there too, But then I put it back in, It was just to help get the shell out and pull them shrimps out of their shell. But anyway, I'm going to have you some more when I get done with y'all. I made myself hungry some more. But anyway, so the masks. Now, the mask in my little poor visiony thingy, whatever this is going on, were seeing the native tribes, the different tribes who were oop, anyway, I can't answer anyway. Holy mackerel. Hang on, yeah. On in my I'll do it. I'll do it later. The idea of the masks represents my thinking of the different tribes and those folk who might have used a mask that was tradition or traditional for their tribe. But the dance itself was not about ghosts. It was about the whole tribe gathering together in a humongous circle and everyone dancing for their ancestors to help them, to help us, if you will. So now what's that got to do with the Red Death and all that? Well, there's a lot of dancing going on politically, people, nurses, doctors, folks on this side, folks on that side, and it's all about the mask. Now, why are we covering up? What is the purpose of this? Is it for our protection? Is it because of that? And now they're going to bully those of us who think it's stupid. I'm not going to be around my house and here in the yard or whatever with a mask on. No, mask up, America. What? Now, if I lived in an apartment complex, maybe I'd wear it going through the halls, for example, to go to my apartment. Maybe. It would depend on how complex and how compact and all that. There's a lot of people, okay, I could see, but most folks don't really live like that. I mean, in suburbia, the houses are close enough, you can touch a house on either side with your arms spread out. But at the same time, they're separate and there's air between them. And unless you go slobbering on somebody or touching or getting really close in, supposedly, this germ can't mutate or whatever. Or so I'm having issues with what they say is a virus and how it's just jumping around willy-nilly, if you will. And it just amazes me. But for the amount of the population, we are being taught to dance. We are the puppets on the strings. Now, if I want to go into Walmart and it's mandatory, now it's mandatory for the local Dollar General. I mean, I think I talked about that the other day, and it just kind of popped up, and I'm like, what the hell? A week ago, there wasn't any. Now there's signs up, and now my friend says that they've actually, in the store she was in, they actually have masks so that if you don't have one, you have to put one on to go in the store. And here's the issue. We've got another issue. Now we have all these masks that people are just like dumping and tossing. Now we've got masks blowing in the wind, literally in parking lots and things. Now, if somebody's had this around their mouth and they've coughed and spit and done whatever, it's collected germs. And now these things are loose in our environment. Wait a minute now. So it's like everybody's taking a honker with a Kleenex or a paper towel. Kleenex don't work for me. I use paper towel. But so you cough, you spit, you sneeze or whatever. And oh my God. And now this honking juice is everywhere. So what could have been just me wearing a little bandana or something and taking the germ with me, now people, because of who they are, well, I wear it in the store and then they just toss it in it. Sometimes it makes it. But now here's my point. Now we've got all these collected germs that are now in these masks that are going to be collected, whether public or private or whatever. And is anybody addressing what else those germs could be bringing up? So it's a mask of the Red Death, but it's also like a ghost dance in that they're turning us all into ghosts, not spirits, because none of this is good. You're rebreathing your carbon monoxide, dioxide, whatever it is. We're not supposed to be breathing that. We're supposed to be breathing oxygen, nitrogen, little methane, a little tooting and pooting in here and there, and stink from the dog or whatever, oh, the cat did it. But the idea, though, that now mask up America, so it's still, I can still see the two not really being, but we're doing a ghost dance right now because for many of us, and it's not the way the ghost dance was for the native tribes. We're doing a ghost dance of our own demise, our own loss of spirit was what was shown to me today. And the mask of the masks, plural, because back in the day, each tribe had their own spirits and stories and so forth, and they would make a mask to represent that, to tell the story. And sometimes, anyway, so the masks weren't, a lot of folks thought that the masks were being worshipped. And the bottom line is the masks were just what they are, masks for telling a story. Like the Chinese do the mask and the thing and the bonsai, bonsu, something. It's, oh my God, the extravaganza what they do with the mask and the dragon head and the this and the that. Phenomenal as a puppeteer. Some of the things, boy, do I get it. And I found out that in the Native American Museum, and I think in Washington or somewhere, related to the Smithsonian, there are actual marionette puppets that were used by shamans found in burial mounds and places up in the Northwest. British Columbia, but Washington and Idaho, just up along in there, and that were 150 years old. Now, where did Native folks get the idea of puppets? From the French Canadians. They came over and were trappers and everything, and they showed them how to make these puppets. But the thing is then the shamans made the puppets, and they became sacred. I was warned. I said, I want to make one that sort of looks like that. And I had people writing me going, don't you dare try to copy one of those. And I was like, I'm just going to take the picture and carve my own. Don't you dare. And I was like, what? Because whatever special magic was to those puppets for the shaman, they were like, don't do it, Hawkeye. And I was already kind of beginning. And then I realized there's something much deeper in this. And there were people from the Smithsonian, and I was asking people from other tribes and emailing folks, and they all said the same thing. Don't you dare fricking do it. But I'm not going to I don't want to make an exact, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try to copy that. Don't try to make it look like that, because you don't know what that was. It could have been a representation of some kind of evil thing. It could have been a don't you dare. Sort of like me telling folks, we don't know enough about sigils for any of us to do that kind of mess. And if we ever reach a clarity and a knowing, I know that there are sigils that are magical. But the thing is we don't have enough information to go fooling with that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm saying, you're going to, somebody say, okay, here you go. You're 15 years, now I grew up on a carnival. So, so I was driving big trucks at a very early age, but to most kids growing up, they'd say, okay, you're going to get your learner's permit. All right, take this 18-wheeler here and drive it down to the store and put gas in it and drive it back. And then back it up to the ride just right. Now, I could do that at the age of about 15, certainly at 16. And so by 17, I'm driving, big rigs, hauling carnival rides over the road. And so, but if you try to get somebody else without a little bit of training at 15 years old, they're not, it was difficult figuring out how to back up a 18-wheeler without running over somebody or crashing it into a, very expensive carnival ride. They did not appreciate that. And so I learned at an early age, well, there's a little bit of a trick to it. So, okay, I don't get overcompensating, blah, 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 watch your mirror, and okay. And I've been pretty damn good at that ever since. But the idea, though, that, so we can't just jump into this doing sigils and earth magic and Wiccan stuff. I'm getting a little bit, some of the Wiccan spells, well, a love thing or something, something, or I am not, I'm against anything that might try to influence another in any way, shape, or form. A love potion, or I'm going to have the love of my life attracted to my twin flames going to come into my life. Yeah, be careful. Because your light might be shining and there's something that goes, ooh, look at that, sparkles, and then you end up with a mess. But so this idea, though, that the masks of the ghost dancers, not in the sense that the ghost dance traditional, is that we have become the ghosts in the dance. This current life that we're in is a dance. And they're asking us, mask up, America. Spend that money. We got plenty of them now. We figured out how to mass produce them. They're all over the place. You can have your mask. Mask up, America. Don't be like before. I mean, like the commercial was being a bully. And I'm like, WTF, F, 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 F. What are you talking about? So now we got to man up or woman up or whoever we are. We got to gender up, and wear the masks. So, but in that, we're producing, and from my friend's point of view, she's like, if you do have a little bit of sputum or cough or something like that, and you cough, which, I'm like coughing up a little bit of something all the time. And sinus issues from all the coke and nasty shit I snorted up my nose over the years. My sinuses are shot. And it's my own damn fault, but I have to put up with it now. So, but I don't want boogers everywhere, no. So I take care of it. There's a trash can there. I got my roll of paper towels when I need to blow my nose, and it's wiped and put away, and I wash my hands when I need to. And so, like, that's all groovy, but I would not take that out into public, because I understand what it is. Hey, Jody, Brandy, Scratch, and who's that? Bury somebody? Robert V. Barry Chad. Hello, hello. Greetings, everybody. Twisted, Brandy, uh, Teresa, how are you? I think you called last night, and I was in the yard and doing stuff, and anyway. Maverick, okay. Kittens are evil Knievel in a small package. Oh, you should see the ones in my yard and how Duggar likes to chase them. It's great. I laughed my canugas off yesterday watching them play. Barry says, today I was thinking of a hummingbird going to the hibiscus as soon as it went through my mind and hummingbird appeared in front of me. I had one that's been poking its nose, like literally right in the window right over here, and I got to put out a fresh feeder. But I've got, oh man, I can never think of what they are. They're big, tall things anyway. They got red flowers on them. And so the hummingbirds are in the area, but I do need to try to feed them better. But anyway, let me go back to this. So this idea, though, that the mask, me with my, I can't say strange, um, uh, weird and twisted mind. But, the mask of the Red Death were made. Hey, Truth in Me, how are you? The fact that it's made to be thought of as a plague. And we should cover, there's just so many things to the mask. And after I read about the ghost dance, after I did the title, I thought to myself, maybe I should change that. And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to leave it as it is, because we are now, with the donning of the masks, haven't we all become part of Sharia law or something? Aren't we all covering our face, male and female? We don't know who we are. Who are these people above the thing? We're all terrified. We're all this and that. So aren't we dancing? And to me, our spirits are being obliterated because now we're being turned into ghost objects. We don't know who that person is because we're all hiding. We're all Casper, but not necessarily or is everybody friendly. And now I'm not saying that everybody that's wearing a mask now or who's conforming to this is in any way, shape, or form evil, but you can't necessarily tell their intentions by only this. That's why bandits have been putting something over their face so they can't react. And the eyes are enough, but so, and in so many ways I have been looking at this with the mask thing and how we're all supposed to act and not interact with each other, as that we are, they're turning us into zombies. We already are doing the dance. We're walking around now. Now we have to wear a mask, and now people are what if whether or not they've been told to wear a mask all the time or not. The commercials and other things are prompting them to wear the mask all the time, and that's unhealthy. If you can't do that, you're going to put a strain on your own self. Now, wear it in public, do the safe thing, but to wear it all the time and mask up America, we will become ghosts if we aren't already. And it's not just America; it's the whole planet. But what was it? The folks in Germany had a big protest about mandatory masks. I think it was in Berlin. Or was I dreaming that just recently? So it's like we as a populace can say, oh, hell no. But I'm not saying that we as a populace should just like overthrow the government over this. But at the same point, if I need to go into Walmart and it's the rule, like I'm in jail, no, you can't carry contraband upstairs to your cell. Okay, boss man, say you don't. But at the same time, though, if this is what the prison rules are, then just don't sweat it. Go by the prison rules. And if it means you want to go to Walmart or somewhere, wear your mask and be polite and be responsible. That's all. Go by the rules. And in that respect, we're going to get out of this. But the more they want to push this other thing, and the more, there are a lot of folks, me, my sister, and a few other people, we're just plumb tired of it. Now, they have to go out in public a lot where I don't. But to my point, though, when going into public, if I had to do what they do and go out and this and that, I still feel the same way, whether or not I'm sitting here or actually going to the store. I have not gone to the store for a couple of supplies. I'm not to die over, but I was going to do this project and it's been too hot anyway. But so I haven't gone to the store. I need some chicken feed and I need a little of this. And I need something over here. And I need a new battery and I need to go to Walmart or the store to get a battery. But anyway, I haven't done these things because I'm not sure what the rules are, right? And because I haven't been out in public enough. But so the idea, though, that everybody's going to have their own rules and this, that, and the other thing. So my rule of thumb is if I've been into a public place, I got some vinegar in the truck, I wash my hands with it, and as good a disinfectant as anything else. And if I need to go into a store that is obvious, I'll put on my little masky thing, and I'm gonna bring it back with me and hang it in the truck on the mirror, because the next store I go to, going to take it off and then put it back on. Just wearing it around you all the time and all that. Now, if it was my job, but there are folks working in these big factories, And if none of y'all ain't sick and you're working in a factory, then these people should not be required to wear a mask. If everybody at a place ain't sick, now as long as you keep your distance. Now, if you're gonna all get together in the lunchroom or something and sit around well, if you're not sick, but the thing is though that wearing that mask, there are folks working in great big huge plants that only get near the other person, and everybody's wearing a mask all the time. That's unnecessary. But we have to dance to the fiddler's tune. We have to dance to whoever is putting up this stuff. Now, to those of you who have followed Dante and DSAHK, his YouTube has been down, not canceled or anything. There's just no videos. And there hasn't been any visible word from Dante. And I'm just almost inclined to do a separate video. But for those of you at the end of almost an hour here, I thought I would toss this in. Jody, I think I saw you go by earlier. Scratch, Teresa, Michelle. But anyway, that several months ago, Dante warned us that in the next couple months, there's going to be some stuff going on. And some of us went, okay. I think I even did a video sort of about 6 or 8 weeks ago about, upcoming events and, and we need the next 100 days. And now we're sort of another 100 days where the election's coming up. There's going to be some shyster stuff going on, let me tell you. But every election has shyster stuff going on. So the best we can hope for is the best shyster wins. I guess that might be how it goes. But so with this, though, I was just thinking out of the box, but I saw in my dream many years ago about the America and peoples, and everybody their hair was all tied together, which was an interesting thing, and being pulled by the horsemen from the apocalypse, the 4 horsemen from the 4 directions. And in that, faces were distorted and this and that. And I think when I see the people going around with masks on and stuff, it's weird because now you can only see the eyes and there's chaos in their eyes. There's fright in their eyes, where before we just went to the daggum store. Now we have to take precautions. Now we have to worry about whether or not we caught something when we went there. And oh my God. So I think we're doing the ghost dance, not in the traditional sense now, mind you. But at the same time, because we're all going through this, it is similar to the ghost dance of the original, where the whole tribe gets together and dances holding hands and praying for the planet and praying for peace and praying for balance. And that's what this soul tribe is about. That's what you all are. I'm just a yakety yak here that has these weird little visions of stuff, but in the grand scheme of all of this, and reading the cards and watching the hummingbirds in nature and some of the strangest clouds today. I mean, this little wispy thing just came out of nowhere. And I'm looking out the window and there ain't nothing around it. Nothing. And there's this little wispy thing. It's just like, do. And it was hot and dry. There was no moisture in the atmosphere. And we weren't getting anything from the hurricane yet. But to my point, it was like, wow, that's just magical mystery right there. And I'm not even high. Wow, thank you, spirits, for this beautiful thing. And I went outside and watched it for a few minutes, and and I just kind of hung there. And then it eased off. But I thought, how magical, because nothing, no other water vapor, no other anything, and here is this little thing just going by. Anyway, we have to understand that there's a lot of stuff going on this planet, a lot of different alien races and things, a lot of stuff going on, and whoever is pushing these buttons with the mask and this, I'm wondering, actually, on two fronts. Just to say, let's look at both sides, sort of as I'm going to debate myself here. This could be a magical ploy to get everybody to breathe in their own muck and to kill, and for those people who may be more susceptible to trying to breathe through a mask are now going to be having more respiratory issues, blah, 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 where that would not have happened before. So people's lungs and systems are being put to the test. Now, the other side of that, is it to help kill off more people? Is it to make them, if they do take their mask on, they're going to breathe in such a way that who, just saying. So, but then what about if somebody's trying to push this idea of a mask because there's other toxic things out there, alien to us? Well, this whole idea of this floating virus around that we have to wear a mask all the time is just cramped places. I get it. I get it. I understand the small blah, 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 and people. I get that. But wide open spaces and sitting in the park and people wearing their mask watching the ducks. No, I don't get that. And people aren't getting it. So is this is this part of a ruse to weed out the population? Think about it. So these people are wearing a mask all the time, and now they're gonna get used to the mask. They're gonna get used to other people wearing the mask. Well, he's not wearing a mask. Oh my God, he's not wearing a mask. We're all gonna die, right? So a year or so ago, Antifa, they had the mask. Anybody with a mask on was going to be arrested. You can't come in with a mask on. Now it's the other way around, where now everybody's going to have a mask. They don't have a mask on. Oh my God, kill them. People are being arrested because they're not wearing a mask, because they're not conforming. Now, if I'm not wearing a mask and you are, you're not going to get my germs then, right? So it's my choice whether or not I want to get the germ. Hey, man, I want the germ. So are they taking our free will away? Or are we in jail? You betcha. Are we being exterminated? I think silently we are, because of improper propaganda. But that's what propaganda is. It's improper propaganda that makes us nuts. So, but check the medical field. All the nurses. I mean, I worked in machine shops, and we couldn't wear a mask all the time, even when there was humongous amounts of dust, because it was taxing on our lungs. It was like, you want us to breathe in grinding dust? It's literally flying in our face. Well, wear a bandana, but we can't issue you a dust mask because it's so hard to breathe. And that was in 1970. No, that was in 85 and 6. But anyway, and I worked building jet engine parts for compressor blades, stage 12, 13, 14, some stage 11. But anyway, for jet engines, Rolls-Royce, JT9 engines, Pratt & Whitney, a couple of GE engines, Pegasus. It was a great big fan blade. Some bitch was huge. Anyway, but so I've had all kinds of titanium dust and strange alloys and dust. Oh my God. Thank God I can still breathe. Is that why I want a cigarette so bad right now? But the idea, though, that everything in its place, but we shouldn't be bullied over this. So, are we doing the ghost dance for our own civilization? In that the people without a mask are going to be the ones who are you know, they're the ones holding hands together like the native peoples did back in 1888, 990. And then they made it a law, no more ghost dancing, against the law, can't do it. So nobody really knows. There are some old timers with rumors that are handed down through certain tribes and elders. But from what I've been able to glean from this, it wasn't necessarily a person dressed up like a skeleton, as a lot of other um, folks want to portray the ghost dance. It's not a skeleton dance. It's not that they're trying to worship dead people, but one could say they were trying to raise an army. And the United States cavalry, especially after Custer, were like, no, 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 no. We just killed y'all bastards out there on the plains. And we killed a bunch. And you want to do a ghost dance and raise those spirits up from the dead to fight us again? Oh, no, you ain't. Oh, no, you didn't. You know. And so they massacred all those Lakota back in the day at Wounded Knee. And that just wasn't the only place. But they stopped that shit. And the natives said, well, I guess, you know, so they didn't talk anymore about it. But in the powwows and with the shamans and the people and the old timers that I've sat and talked with, and I brought up the ghost dance, and you know, like I've heard rumors about it, and well, we don't speak of it much, and I'm like, obviously, but was it be? And so the elders would always say it's not what the whites portray, which is usually to the truth, you know, it's not what the whites portray. So it's not this dancing skeleton that is the ghost. Now there are those who would do the skeleton as an image of, because the dead um, have no skin, but the bones of the ancestors. So in that they would understand that the bones of the ancestors could rise up, but not necessarily physically as bones. But so would I would have thought of that if I was in a tribe back in the day. I'd go, wow, you know, it's the bones of our elders, you know, and we would look like this and be easy to paint our skins, you know, dark with some white and do sort of the bony thingy. But it would not be to emulate wait. It would not to be to worship the dead or to create a ghost. It would be to portray the spirits. So a lot of difference. But what we see and what we hear and what blabbermouth white people tell in the stories, when you go back into history and talk with some of these folks who are old timers back when I talked to them, I had the privilege of talking with, you know, some old timers and a medicine man from the Lakota tribe at Pine Ridge, you know. I mean, he looked just like he was supposed to be a descendant of Crazy Horse. And I swear to God, you know, the pictures I've seen of Crazy Horse, this guy was it. And he was about like 5'5" and stocky. And it was snowing sideways up in Tennessee that November. And he was out there in just just a shirt and leggings and all. And I'm bundled up about to freeze to death. And he, you know, I'm like, aren't you cold? He goes, you should, this ain't nothing compared to South Dakota. Well, I found out about South Dakota and I was like, boy, he's right. This was like summertime to him. So, but anyway, where everybody else was freezing, um, it was a spring day, you know, well, an autumn day. But anyway, so, but when in talking with these elders myself and looking back at these things, I go, well, so are the warnings sort of me as they laid it out, interesting how it played out today. That are we portraying the ghost of our ancestors? Are we masking ourselves from this? Are we really hiding from the 19? Is there something else going on? My friends, there are so many levels to this. And I didn't think I finished up with the Dante thing. For those of you who may be wondering, this has happened before, but the war is going on so many levels. And if an operation goes silent, they go silent for a reason. They're busy. They've got stuff to do. And I'm going to do a separate video. I was instructed this afternoon. I need to do a, a silent 72 plus, sort of a. I know some of you hate when I say this, but it's sort of a Mother Mary message. It's an angel message, if you will, for folks who haven't heard of stuff. Keep the faith, and in all of these things that are going on, keep the faith. And would I demonstrate against wearing the masks? I would. This is sort of my demonstration now in a way. But at the same time, if I needed to go into Walmart, I would follow their rules. But at the same time, I'd take it off, put it in my pocket, and tell anybody going in, look, you don't, or, people on the outside they're doing stuff but there's nobody around. I'm like, why are you wearing a mask? Only when you're around folk. Only when you go in the store where some of the germs might get trapped. Okay. But once you go outside, take it off. It's bad for your health. You're collecting your own germs and stop it. Inside, okay. Outside, unless you live in a polluted area, but anyway, so I saw this, and at the same time, I saw this as we're wearing the masks, plural. It is like the Red Death to us. For those of you who came in late, I talked about the Mask of the Red Death from Edgar Allan Poe from 1842, because of the Red Death that was going on. I'm not quite sure if it was just in Europe or over there, but anyway, the Americas were, well, they could have been, hurt too. But anyway, so the combination of that, the masks represent death or something to me. You're wearing a mask or you're going to try to rob me, one or the other. And since so many people are wearing masks now, who are you going to tell is the robber now? But the robber is not wearing one. That'll be how could you tell a Polish robber? What do you mean, huh? Back in the day, there was always Polak jokes. So, sorry, Polacks. How many white people does it change to change a light bulb? I don't know. They have to think about it first. They have to get online and see if there's an app for it. How many morons does it take to put on a mask? 2. No punchline. Oh my God, quarantine me. I coughed. It's getting to the point now where I think to myself, if George Carlin were alive today, what would George have to say about this? He'd go, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I'm channeling George at the moment. What the fuck is wrong with us? We've let them do this to us and that to us, and now we're going to wear a fucking mask. Thank you, George. We love you. But the idea, though, that isn't it gotten there? And hi, Jody. I knew you were hanging out somewhere. But the idea, though, that, listen, be safe. Let's not be stupid. I don't know whether or not this is going to create a new civil war, but I damn sure think we all ought to put our foot down and go, no, you don't have to wear it all the time. No, if you're in a big warehouse with 10 people, you don't and you're all are okay with each other and you're not sharing, Slurpees or something. You shouldn't have to wear your mask all the time. There's a person getting out of the UPS truck, right? He's got his mask on. He's getting his stuff out. Now he's in the neighborhood. and walks up to the house with the mask on, doesn't want to spread it, and drops the package off, turns around and wears the mask all the way back through the whole thing. No, what are you? Because you got out of the truck, you're going to get the thing. So they're driving down the road with the mask on. No, I'm all for mask in public places where there's congestion of people. But there are going to be people dying left and right for a lot of other reasons. And this is all because it's stupidity. It's because the elite, like in the Mask of the Red Death, they're the ones at the parties, while we're the ones wearing the masks, dying in the streets, you know, or not wearing the mask as the story is. But anyway, but in the hiding and the ghost dance, as we all are gathered because of this event, we can choose to be either ghosts in the dance, meaning demons and or not demons, but the not so good spirit guys, versus do we want to become a part of their ghost dance? Now, many years ago, there were Native Americans that were like, they say we can't do this, but we're still doing it. We just don't tell them. But what do you mean? Well, you see that dance there? Yeah, well, that stomp dance is sort of like a ghost dance, but it's not. It's a stomp dance. We renamed it. What? It means the same thing. We dance, the whole tribe, the whole group, everybody dances, and you don't stop dancing until everybody drops. Literally, everybody drops. It could be a whole day. People will hold each other up. And depending there, I have seen some dances where there are runners. So there are people who are dancing and somebody needs water, and they'll like come over and hand water into the group so they can keep dancing. It's nuts. It in a spiritual way, because in having been around it and seen it, and I say, oh my God, it's sort of like the whirling dervishes, they whirl and twirl and do. And if you, in having done ceremony, where when you allow yourself to be the ceremony and to allow the energies to channel, there have been times when I have done when I've done a full moon ceremony, which tomorrow's full moon. I've been seriously thinking about doing a drum. I have my drum right here, and was going to start with a song, but it's thunking a little bit. It's got a little moisture on it. It's not very tight. It's got a little moisture on it. I had it on top of the lamp earlier and it got real tight, but it's got a nice little thump to it. Little funky, but I'm doing a full moon ceremony tomorrow night, and nothing really grand, but the idea though that just to be outside, just to do a fire, just to it's a sturgeon moon, I think, Sturgis, big fish and caviar, but just to honor the spirits and to honor those who have passed and to honor those who are sick and are suffering right now, and just an honor to the spirits at the full moon. With the energy, I'm sitting here looking out my back window down here to the south and can see the moon. And by the way, folks, the earth wobble looks like it has somehow quit wobbling quite as bad. The moon is in the same general path location as it was last time at this, where 5 months ago now, 4 months ago, the moon was straight overhead during full moon. It's now out at about a 50, maybe a 60-degree angle from here, looking at it now. And it was wobbling all over the place. And now it's been in this will be the third month in a row that it's relatively in the same angle. It's not going high overhead or going way down like I'd been talking about because that's what was so odd. In 2 weeks' time, it'd go from down here to way over here and then back down again. Right now, the moon's been really stable with where it is, and that means we must be more stable or something. Something's more stable. So just 10 cents on that one too while I got y'all here. It's an hour and 20 minutes. So I know that this is a really convoluted, like the mask and the thing and the whatever, but with the knowledge of all the stuff that's going on and old history, new history, okay, so what did Poe know? Read some of his stories, and he had a particular kind of insight to things. Creepy, yes. Make your skin, yeah, but at the same time, there was also something in there about humanity and about ourselves. And because in some of us, we all got a little creepiness, you know, whether it's creepy to me or you, it may be creepy to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we're having this conversation, or the fact that I say shaman basics. Well, what's this got to do with being a shaman? Good point. This has to do with being a shaman because we have to understand discernment. So the spirits give me this vision today outside and say, "Do you see this? The ghost dance and the disc and the mask and it was like all at one time, and it was one picture, but it wasn't. It was separate, and I could see where there was like, oh my God, we're sort of repeating things, or maybe there's somebody who's writing this story behind us, back here." That it putting in stuff in the subtext, you know what I'm saying? But to the point is like, it doesn't seem like normal reality. Like I said the other day, with the different puzzle pieces, things keep changing. And it's like, then now they're changing our perception. Now we got to mask up America. Now the next thing they're going to say, okay, everybody needs to do an enema. Are we going to do that too? Are we going to do YouTube videos of enema packages or something? Are we going to like, okay, everybody, I don't shave my arms, but they say I got body hair is bad. Now we've got the manscaper, for God's sakes. It's a lawnmower for men. You know, the happy looking, it's not nice to look manly with a little hair on you or something. No, everything, we have to be manicured. We got to be cured of our manhood or whatever. I mean, okay, trim up, but what is this like waxing and, ain't that unnatural? Anytime I've had to shave for an operation or whatever, it always itches when it comes back. So you're going to shave everything, but you can't shave and your battery goes down. Aren't you going to be an itching mofo if you can't manscape? I'm sorry. And it's got a light on it. It's got a powerful LED light, so I can look between my legs and shave the hair on my legs, so I can be manscaped. So I can be manicured. I can be cured of being a man. Oh my God. Anyway, and I bring up some of this stuff in that, the spirits above us and those benevolence that are looking down, watching us, are going, them humans are getting, Charlie, these humans are getting worse every day. We thought that a little bit of this over here was like, but no, now they have lights on their manscape machines. Everything must be mowed and chewed and stuff. And oh my God. And all the products that have to go with it. The plastics, all the things, all the machines, all the copper, all the stuff that goes into making all these little tools that, because I got an old brass 2-edged razor thing from the way back, right? And for what I need to shave, it does fine. Now, it will nick you, scrape you, and otherwise cut that out of you. And blood everywhere, Maggie. But the idea, though, that I need a manscape machine that, that has a powerful LED light on it, to me is just like, seriously. I mean, I thought a Norelco razor back in the day was cool. But seriously? Now the ear trimming thing, yeah, no, yeah, those come in handy. But I'm an old man. I People expect hair to grow out of your ears. It's like my right. I'm 68 years old, damn it. And if I want my ear hair to hang out a little bit, it's my freaking right. But to be manscaped, I'm sorry, it goes into the whole thing about how we're being led down certain ways, and how if you want to be a man now, you have to be manscaped. What? I mean, yeah, okay. I know some friends of mine that have hairy backs, and they really could use a trim. But it's all the mask to make us to be something else, being something that we're not. Because if the lights go out, then what are you going to need? You know, I don't know. And where the more we get into gizmos, so it's the idea of this is masking so much. It's hiding our emotions. It's hiding who we are. It's the mask that we're keeping our own contagions within. We're breathing more dioxides in than when we ever should be. I mean, at the end of the day, if you wear a mask, it's like putting your mouth over an exhaust pipe of an automobile. Because you're getting this. So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you on this. Today, I lost what day it is. What day is this? I had to wait. Come back here. And the Enchanted Forest, Sunday. Yeah, okay, it is Sunday. That's right. Um, and the Enchanted Forest could be growing out of David Null's ears, and I still wouldn't have any. 2,000 kids a day hiding the snatchers. Scratch says, I want government to do the job they meant for, to work for us, not against us. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, Michelle, that's very true. She says, I don't even hold my face muscles the same in a mask. Absolutely. Chloe says, tell them to bend over. I'll give you an enema you'll never forget. Yeah. Well, in so many ways, that's what they're doing. They're telling us to bend over. And they're not even, giving us a kiss or a pat on the butt, or, they're just telling us to bend over. And they're going to bully us into this idea: mask up, America. Don't be like before, and don't be because you didn't, and blah blah. Mask up, America. It's like you ain't a patriot unless you're wearing a mask all the time. And like, but and again, I want to reiterate for those who may have just come in, I'm not against wearing a mask in a situation, but this all the time stuff is nonsense. We have to be practical about this for our own safety. There are people out there who are going to be more sick because they wore the mask than they were if they didn't wear it at all. And there are several nurses and friends and other folk who say and agree the same way. So I'm just saying, let's be prudent and not have them make us do the ghost dance. Because if enough of us dance to this tune, you'll get this metaphor, right? Because there's cows out there. If all of us dance to this tune, it will make ghosts of us, is how I see this ghost dance. But at the same time, as the tribe, we can also use this as a say, and I meant to say this earlier and I skipped. They think we're dancing because of this, and we just say, well, okay, but when I'm dancing, and you think I'm dancing and I'm being your puppet, actually, I'm dancing with my fellow tribe members because we're praying this has a good outcome. And that maybe all them stupid people will be swallowed up by the earth or something like the Moloko, the the Native American back in 1888, 990. Um, was that the sky spirits were going to come and take us, the native, and everybody else was going to be destroyed. And then after they got destroyed, we were going to come back and repopulate and bring balance back to the earth. Well, now one could say that maybe he read Revelations, because isn't that sort of what's going to happen? I mean, all the nasties is going to go away, and then there's going to be 1,000 years of peace on the earth. Now, I've always questioned why just 1,000, but who am I to question the lifetime of Methuselah? One generation. But the idea, though, that the end of the world, the end of a thing, the end of, we can all agree this is the end of something. I say it's the end of some, sanity. But let's be careful out there, y'all. Be safe, but understand there are underlying things for the mask. And you can say, well, it's just for safety. Is it? Then why are they pushing it? Why aren't they honestly telling? Why aren't they? I'm sorry, I've already said fuck before in this video. So at this stage, what the fuck are they thinking they're going to force us into doing? And that every one of us has to have a particular. If we don't think this way or we don't believe this particular way, well, my friends and neighbors, we're going to be dancing to a different drummer. Think about it. So, but while they want us to dance this way, we're going to be standing there going, okay, but behind everybody else's backs, we of the tribe are going to know we're dancing to a different tune at the same time they're dancing. But ours is right, we're right in front of them. Look at me, I'm dancing. See, I got my mask on, but I ain't playing your game. Like when I was told about being in jail, I never lost my own personal humanity because I refused to give it up. So even though we're in prison with this stuff and they want us to dance like monkeys, and some folks are like really doing the hoppity dance, it's really funny to watch. But at the same time, let's not be fucking stupid over this. Let's not lose our heads. Let's not lose our life and our values and whatever. If it's the rule, then do it. But when you don't have to do it, don't. Because, my friends, I love you, I do. Just a little bit of craziness from your old friend Hawkeye Two Feathers. On a day of mowing grass on the second day, almost to be the third day of August 2020, in the year of, speculation in the, this is star date 454662. Who knows? But anyway, those numbers just came out. But the idea, though, that we are all in this together. But let's put up a good front where we need to. But let's not believe the hockey. Let's not believe the stupidness. Let's not believe that we have to mask up America. Come on. There was the Red Death. There was these other pandemics. There were, honest to God, reasons for being, quarantined and stuff. This ain't it. Just saying. I love you, my friends. Maverick Scratch, Truth in Me. Al, good. Hey, Al, good to see you, Maverick. See, Brandy. Oh, I just had an epiphany. What if Trump brings in military and arrests all of the pedo world? I've been waiting on that for the last 4 years. Have any of us seen anything happen in that area? I'm still praying, I got the number 800 a day, socialize people. Yeah, and whether or not you actually go out and meet another person, the idea is that, we just got to just like, okay. And my friend yesterday or the other day said, there were people out in a field or parking lot when nobody else around wearing their mask and they were having trouble breathing. And it was hot, 94 degrees and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you don't have to wear the mask outside. And so they pulled it down over, covered their mouth, but not their nose so they could breathe. But, You know, when you go nearby or you go up to someone, pop it on, blah, blah, blah. Okay, doke. Um, and I can't answer that because the phone ain't charging. There it goes. Now that was just plumb weird. Oh well, I'll fix it later. But my friends, so just be practical. But I saw this thing as being the Mask of the Red Death and the ghost dance and the thing and the blah blah. But at the same time, we can use it to bring ourselves together, and we can make sure with each other, calm down. Remember, don't get your panties in a wad, right? There's going to be a lot of stuff going on these next couple of months. This next 100 days is going to be really wild with the conventions and the voting and all this. Who knows what the hell's going to go on? And they're the folks with the prophecies are out again. Oh, no, we're all going to die again. Well, we're all going to die again. Well, something's going to kill us all at some point. Yes, but come on, let's live each day to the fullest. Let's be as kind and as generous as we possibly can to our fellow man. And let's just live life because we can't take any of what we got here with us. And, it's either going in the trash or somebody's going to burn it or, hey, Mother Nature, cheers. Much love, my friend. I'm proud of you, buddy. I remember when no one was in here and I was the only one in chat. Keep pimping that shit. You're good. Great job. Thank you, Mother Nature. Are you doing all right? I hope you're doing well. Um, I haven't seen your channel on in a while, and I'm in and out as it is with stuff, and you know, trying to deal with summertime. Good God Almighty, it's hot. But I keep the got to keep the forest from taking over the place. So other projects I had going are just going to have to dead gum wait until the weather cools down and the grass quits growing so damn fast, and the swamp quits trying to take over my the yard and everything. It's a constant job trying to keep trying to keep Mother Nature from taking over the place, but and it's just been hotter than hell, down here, at least for us. But anyway, in another month or so, and near my birthday in September, the weather should start cooling down some, and it should be cooler in the evenings at least. Good. You're still around, buddy. Thank you for asking. How have you been? As well as possible under the circumstances. And prayers out to you, Mother Nature, as well. And all y'all, actually, Chloe, Brandy, Teresa, David Castle, you came here just for this human experience. Enjoy it and do the things you love to do as much as you are able. Keep your vibration high. Yeah. And there are lessons in everything. And, goodness knows we should have a little bit of fun in this life. Everything does, I knew this old Jewish man. Everything was about the suffering. If God wanted you to have it, he would have gave it to you in spades. You don't deserve it. We work for ourselves and we suffer in this life. And if God wanted us to have gold, he would have gave us gold teeth. Anyway, and I'm not mocking them. I've had a lot of good, wonderful Jewish friends, and some of them just wackier than noodles, let me tell you. But speaking of noodles, that seafood thing I made. I'm going for seconds when I get done here with y'all. Just saying. Wish y'all could taste it. I wish they could do like taste, here, like smell, scratch and sniff. Y'all could do like let me give you a taste of my shrimp gumbo stuff here over noodles. But anyway, twisty noodles it was happened to be this time. But in the grand scheme of everything, though, wearing your mask or not, it's all what we got in here. We can get sick by eating a bad sandwich or something else. Or there's so much stuff going on, so many diseases, and so many people are sick with heart conditions and this, that, and the other thing. And the only thing I can really bitch about is I'm in certain ways I'm getting a little more crotchety in my old age. No, that's not true, but I just acted just for the damn hell of it, because old people are supposed to be crotchety. So it's like, let me throw it out there. But a lot of stuff I don't bothers me anymore. Just sweat the small stuff. And in my 68 years, I can look back and go, man, sweating that small stuff sure did just take up a lot of my energy. Twisted says, can we do a video together? Sure, send me an email. I don't know how to do it on this thing. I'm very limited with doing any kind of something twisted. Um, yeah, I'm just an old grouch, ain't I? Yeah, well, sometimes when I get on here about some of these subjects, I'm sure that there are some people who go, man, he's just a bitching and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, but there are a lot of us bitching. I'm just trying to put a platform out there and say, okay, let's take us all out to the weird, really weird over here side. Now, let me give you a picture of the really weird what if over here. And, in a lot of ways, they sort of feel like George Carlin in that, he had that, you got Zoom on your phone. Okay. Somebody said I need to look into Zoom twisted. So contact me at my email, dwnull52 at gmail, and send me an email and we'll see what we can do. But the idea though that, we don't have any say so in this matter. Well, yeah, we do. Them people in Germany said, nah, we don't like this. Everybody's got to wear a mask. No. So we can say no. We can put forth our thoughts and say, listen, let's use some restraint in this. And let's, but at the same time, you're not going to piss and moan me all the time, because, the mask of the Red Death is not happening the way everybody is trying to sell it to us. So they want us to dance like monkeys to their tune. Thus the ghost dance, thus the mask, and the mask of, thus the title of this. Again, what does Shaman have to do with this? Remember, I did the cards the other night about owl deception. We have to, there, my mantra thingy going on right now. They're saying it's all about deceptions, my brothers and sisters, because they want to keep deceiving us into believing this or the chaos or what. We have to keep a level head. But at the same time, like when I was in prison, I had to say yes sir, no sir, yes sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, out of politeness, and I did so. But at the same time, I didn't have to bend over for anybody, nor did I. And so at the same time, so I maintained my humanity through their rules, but I was legitimately in prison. So now they, whoever they are, have us in this quarantine. And we just have to locally play by the rules. We have to, let's not seriously piss anybody off. But when you get them off to the side, because a lot of folks are doing it, like us talking here, we don't agree with the whole spiel of this. We don't agree with all of the. We don't believe that and we're skeptical, and it's not proven out the way they said, and they're trying to make up numbers. And I'm sorry, but if I don't think we seriously really lost 1% of the population. Not that I want to, but the numbers have been so cajoled and manipulated that, I don't know if there is a true number out there. There are those folks that are like, well, they'll cut off our funding if we don't have add a couple more to this list. Well, yeah, but she died of a bad hysterectomy. Oh, but it was that 19, she died. Just saying. I have been in work for the government, and oh my God, the things that people do within the government that has nothing to do with the government. It's the people in the government that perceive they know what the government wants them to do, so they tell you what to do, even though the government didn't really say so. But because they work for them, then they become the government, not the government, because it's out of control. So if you were to get rid of all the lobbyists and all the brain farts and all the dead air that's in Washington and surrounding, and the laws and the thisy and then that one, and the people getting paid outrageous sums of money for doing absolutely zero, Like much of us who have actually got to produce something to make a living, um, government would just go. You can't smoke in a pub unless the pub owner says it's a smoking place. And somebody walking into his establishment cannot say, "Oh, the government says this has to be a smoke-free zone." If you want a smoke-free zone, go outside. But, sorry, if it's my bar, if you come to my house and you want to smoke a cigarette or maybe even a cigar, depending, and we want to sit around and have a jaw and have some tea or whatever, or drink some coffee. Thank you, Bob. And by the way, I'll have a sip. We'll light it up. If I say, "Hey, we need to go outside with these cigars, they're really going to stink up the house," fine. But it's my choice. It's my establishment, not the government's. So that kind of thing has pissed me off for a long time about the smoking. Well, you can't smoke in here. Why? And I've known bar owners that are like, "But it's my bar. I can't even smoke in my own bar." And I'm like, "Yeah, that kind of sucks, don't it?" So, wait a minute. Government has gone too far. The mask of the zombies, the mask of the ghost dancers. Let us not become ghost dancers, my friends, because we are already spirit dancers. So when they think we're ghost dancing, we're going to be spirit dancing. When they think they've got us under control, we're going to go, "Sure, you got me." And in the background, we're all praying for world peace and for these idiots to be swallowed up by Mother Earth, and the aliens to come and bring us back when the crap's done. Hey, I believe in the sky gods too. And many native tribes all believe in the sky gods, and the sky gods ain't Great Spirit. Sky gods are not the creator. Just saying. So, anyway, I've yacked enough. It's almost 2 hours. Thank you all for hanging out with me and let me ramble on about this. But, whatever this little vision thing was today, I was like, "Oh, God, there's so many people being trapped by this. And they're being fed that it's the mask of the Red Death and they're being asked to do this dance to turn. Oh, my God, we're being turned into ghosts. Oh, we're ghosts of our former selves because we can't breathe in fresh air, regurgitating that which we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get rid of the bad stuff in us and bring in fresh air. So now they're tainting our own breathing. This is a big deal, And spiritually, if you're in that moment and you're sitting there meditating and you got your legs crossed and you're doing the thing, but if you can't breathe, wow, that's just going to affect the mindset and the thingy and the us's and our blood flow and how and who we are, and they're cutting our breath away. They're literally taking our breath away. Be careful. Be wise. Use a little bit of common sense. And if you're working for the man who's doing something, there are ways around some of the stuff. Like, for example, you can take a pin and poke some holes in your mask. Can't be seen. They're just poked holes, but you will be able to bring in better air. And it'll still have some filter, but you won't be breathing straight through a piece of much love always, David Null. Thank you, Mother Nature. I'll contact you. Maybe we can set up a show, buddy. Absolutely. I would love to do one with you, Mother Nature. And you do stuff in the middle of the night, and I'm usually up. So, sure, why not? David Castle. Thank you, Hawkeye. We appreciate you. And I appreciate all you. Barry, Chad, I don't like to see everyone distant. I agree with you. I love listen, you guys, I literally, when I got off the other night, I sat here and I cried for a full 2 or 3 minutes at all y'all's comments and everything. And before I came on, here's the, so I can kind of sort of prove it. Here's my little dish of sage, and I showed you my drum that's a little funky at the time. Oh, but make our prayers be heard. Make your heart be heard. Make your intent be heard. And, don't become the dancing puppet. Um, what software am I doing my vids? It's whatever is in YouTube. I just go on YouTube and it says, you want to do a thingy? I go, uh-huh. And it used to be able to do a share screen. But I've got some, yeah, be love, everybody. Absolutely. And it's going to be tough. But remember, we've already made enough enemies. Let's not make any more. And for 23 viewers and 23 likes, I can't ask for, I never ask you to like the videos. Never. You do what you wish, and I thank you. And you bring me humbleness and the other night I just sat here and it was a really good cry. It was like, man, all these speaks, I know y'all love me and all that kind of stuff, but the humbleness and that I can sit here and chat and we can discuss and for whatever the conversation is, that it somehow enriches us. That's my prayer. I said, I lit some sage, I took my drum, and I prayed, Spirit, just let me put this word out there and explain this strange little vision thing you gave me today. And what does all this mean, and the mask, and what's behind all this, and a little history of the ghost stand. Anyway, so I hope it was a little interesting. And thank you for hanging out just because you are who you are. Keep up the good work. So, Bob, thank you so much. A little bit of coffee before I end this wonderful evening. Strange noises. Before I end this Sunday night, Monday morning now, I wish you all a good week and a happy tomorrow. But I pray each and every day that each and every one of you will continue to learn and accept the wisdom and the knowledge and the healing from the universe, and that you continue to reject the chaos. I continue to pray that each and every day, each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to use the knowledge and accept the healing, the wisdom from the universe, and continue to reject the chaos. And as the law of three, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to accept, receive, and to share the wisdom, the knowledge, and the healing from the universe, and you continue to learn how to reject the chaos that comes into our lives. Thank you, everyone. Scratch, Michelle, Mother Nature, good to see you. Hugs, hugs, hugs goes out to everyone. Every one of us needs a hug. Every one of us. And none of us are alone in this, whether it's this construct or not. But we're not alone in this, regardless of the construct. So, tribe family, thank you, Brian, as always. Full moon, we see you out there smiling. Tomorrow's full moon for really full moon. With gratitude and with love and cosmic hugs to all y'all. Stay safe, be kind, be sweet. Until next time, from South Georgia, TTFN. Ta-ta. For now, folks. TTFNF. TT ta-ta for now, folks. There you go. Even better, huh? From the swamp, I say, keep it between the ditches. If you're near Florida or any of those storms, You know, always have a plan just in case wind gusts come up and you got flooding. So be safe, be kind. Till next time, I do love you all. Cheers. Dante, we still love you. The Silent 72 and to the 72. We know there's a battle going on. So till next time, folks. See you.